Olá a todos, sejam todos bem-vindos. É um prazer tê-los aqui nesse bate-papo com mais uma startup que nós, da Smartus, entendemos como promissora no mercado imobiliário global, desculpa. Este vídeo, essa entrevista, ela vai ser realizada em inglês.
Olá a todos, sejam todos bem-vindos. É um prazer tê-los aqui nesse bate-papo com mais uma startup que nós, da Smartus, entendemos como promissora no mercado.
Eu estou com o meu retorno ativado, só um segundo.
Global, desculpa. Este vídeo, essa entrevista, ela vai ser realizada em inglês.
Só um segundo, tá?
Todos bem-vindos.
Pablo, eu acho que é o seu retorno que está ligado, certo?
Mais uma startup que nós...
Acho que é o seu retorno que está ativado, certo?
Estou aqui, né?
Sim. Então, vamos lá. Então, pessoal, desculpa esse contratempo, eu só estava com o retorno ativado, então não conseguia me ouvir direitinho. O Pablo está aqui. Deixa eu fazer a breve introdução em português, mas essa entrevista vai ser realizada em inglês e já chamo o Pablo aqui para o bate-papo. Para quem não me conhece, eu sou o Guilherme, eu sou CEO da Smartus, e a Smartus, para quem não conhece, é uma empresa que cria, consolida e distribui conteúdo e informações relevantes para o mercado imobiliário. Essa entrevista, sendo em inglês, ela é gravada e vai, então, ter legenda para aqueles que nos assistir no smartusplay.com.br. Então, vamos lá, para você que está nos assistindo no Smartus Play. Convido-os a dar o like nessa live e também se inscreverem no nosso canal para mais conteúdos. Esse quadro, Startups pelo Mundo, é um quadro pelo qual a gente entrevista as startups mais promissoras do mundo, e nós já entrevistamos 15 startups de diferentes países, da Alemanha, Estados Unidos, Dinamarca, Índia, Reino Unido, Chile, agora Argentina, México e muito mais. Tudo isso está lá no Smartus Play, ok? Agora sim, vou passar por inglês e vou convidar o Pablo para conversar. Hello, Pablo. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you so much for this invitation.
That's my pleasure. Pablo, before anything, please, I'd like to know more about you and about your experience and background.
Absolutely. Well, I started in real estate almost 20 years ago. I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I always loved real estate, and I always loved the industry. And I had the chance to study, to do my master's in UBC, University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada. And I worked there in Canada as an investment banker in real estate, and always trying to bring solutions to the consumer, to the investor, and to make the industry much more simple. So basically, I work in Canada as an investment banker in real estate. Then almost 10 years ago, I went back to Argentina to my family business, which is Grupo Predial. And from there, we started creating new businesses. We created one of the biggest real estate funds in Argentina for residential real estate. And we are a large developer as well for middle and lower middle class. And focusing in the last, I would say, 5-6 years, what is like massive consumption for real estate, for products. And I understood that technology and real estate have to go together. So I went back to my original roots as a real estate broker and started creating technology for making the bridge between the consumer, the investor, and the real estate developers much more easy, dynamic, and now in the times of COVID-19, much more liquid. My obsession right now it's where is my money? That's the question the investor asks all the time, and how with technology we can bridge. Because when I speak with big startups, like for example from Brazil, like Loft or other big startups, is the whole issue is usually property doesn't matter used or new. It takes almost 2 years to sell. So usually that's in times where we need our liquidity so fast, is we need almost instantly, immediately, and not takes almost forever. So I think the big challenge and where all my energy and all my team is going to be focused in the next 12, 24 months or maybe forever, it's going to be liquidity. That's the thing that matters more. And that's the thing that we got to solve in the industry. because that's where the consumer is stuck, that's where the investor is stuck, and that's where the developer needs a solution. So I think that the thing is, all the startups that start working in how we make it, more liquid, the real estate assets, they're gonna have a huge edge, because that's where everyone in the market is yelling, we need liquidity.
Yeah, totally agree. And that's very interesting. And so you are quite experienced for a guy that creates a startup. So, and, and in terms of about your company, what was the problem you were trying to solve when you first created it?
It changed, and like many startups, it pivots many times until we find a place where we offer and say we're going to stick here and we're going to grow. And in the last 2 years, we did many iterations, but basically we started like in Brazil, M-Casa or Purple Bricks in the UK, like a digital real estate broker or a discount real estate broker, where we offer better service for a fixed fee. We started there. And that's how we started. Then we realized that we could give a lot of solutions for real estate developers, including ourselves as real estate developers, to sell faster new projects. And we found an edge there for acquiring the sale of new projects that really started to take off. And when that started to take off, the economy in Argentina, which is our first market, we're in Argentina, and hopefully in the next 3-4 months, and we're launching also in Santiago de Chile as our second market. But then as the market really started to be really bad before the COVID-19, and with the COVID-19, there was almost to be a non-existent market. So then we realized that our focus and our edge was going to be opportunities in the new development market. So people that bought new projects starting in Buenos Aires and need to have a way out. So right now our 100% focus is giving to real estate sellers, people who acquire units in new developments, to have a way out where small or medium-sized investors can buy the units right away for them with a discount. So that's our focus. That's what the thing I'm going to be doing in Chile, and hopefully at some point in Brazil as well. That's our edge, is Brazil.
Yeah, that's nice. And well, in terms of products and solutions, if someone wants to buy something from you, what is your product exactly?
Our product it's selling new developments online. We help developers to sell online digitally and receive an offer. Is sometimes you have a project for, I don't know, the unit, 200,000 US per unit, and perhaps the developer, because it's buying a second land adjacent to the project, or because he needs liquidity, could sell it for 150,000 US that unit because they need the cash, but they don't have no one offering. So our main solution right now is offering to developers instant offer for the products.
That's really different on the market. So people that already owns a apartment, or so the second, we usually say the primary and the secondary market. So you focus on the primary market, the selling of new houses.
We focus on the second. We focus on acquiring from the primary, which is asking for help, and creating for investors, and hopefully in the future, with your help, for institutional investors, a secondary market. What we want to create is secondary market.
Perfect. Yes, exactly. That's very clear now. And well, you mentioned about some startups in Brazil, in Casa, and another one in UK. So yes. And for you, what are the key points of differentiation of your company? What makes you different?
Well, M-Casa is like original Lugaren, but bigger, of course. M-Casa, it's a fantastic digital real estate agency, and love probably the biggest and most noticeable instant buyer for used properties in Latin America. And what we are doing is we are specializing in new developments. So we are working for instant buying, hopefully pretty soon. units in new developments. So it's similar to Lofty, but focus on solving a problem for new developments.
Excellent. And well, I assume that you must be running a lot to differentiate more your company. So what are the solutions and products you are developing and expected to have in the future?
Is that anyone or any developer can really start selling the projects right away in our platform, and that the sellers can get offers. Because the thing is, and I think in Brazil or Mexico happens something similar to Argentina and Chile, which is you have a fantastic project, let's say in Higienópolis in Sao Paulo, and you are asking, I don't know, 1 million reais starting for the cheapest unit in the project. And the thing is, but you don't have offers for the last few weeks or few months from prospective consumers, and having the big data, the information for you as a developer, and saying someone is offering 800,000 reais is really valuable, because what we want to do is, and our focus and our differences, we want to help as being ourselves real estate developers as well, that the next projects you're going to develop, let's say Sao Paulo, Santiago, Buenos Aires, doesn't matter, with the data, helping to create projects, but taking that data for doing new developments. And that's I think a new age for real estate developers. And when we work together with institutional investors and all that stuff, is we're gonna do new projects, but taking the data from scratch. That's our big development. So instead of doing a project and then to think who are we going to sell this project, is doing everything upside down and doing from the beginning. So that's going to be our differentiation when we do it, because we understand the pain of the consumer that bought a project 2 years ago in a fantastic project, but now his wife is pregnant and he needs to have a way out, or he lost his job, unfortunately, or he's moving from Sao Paulo to Chicago and his life change. So is instant solutions for the consumer investor of that project, and also having better data and better information for the developer.
Yeah, excellent. And so you mentioned that you are in Argentina, expecting to go to Chile. What's the timeline for expanding to other countries, including Brazil?
Right now, because the thing is this product and everything made sense for us, but COVID-19 made super clear, clear that this is our path, this is where we're sticking, and we're talking to a lot of prospective investors and say, please go that way. So what we are doing is right now is we're gonna take a fantastic homogeneous market like Santiago for a stable market for trying this, and that's why our focus and our goal and not sleeping for this is next 3-4 months is going to be launching in Santiago with a really small MVP. And if that took off, we're going to start looking for different markets in the region. But our next goal is doing things really well in Argentina, where Argentina, as you know, is against all odds. So if we can do it in Argentina, I think we can do it anywhere.
Yeah. Well, we usually say the same for Brazil. So if you can do in Brazil, you can do everywhere.
I think Brazil is a little bit more stable than Argentina, a little bit more stable and predictable.
Well, I can mention that, but well, considering the politics in Brazil, it's kind of hard to agree with that. So
yeah, we can say that in Argentina and Brazil, we have a lot of fun, to put it in some way. You know?
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Yeah. So next phase is Chile, and then if we can get real traction in Chile, is for sure we're gonna if we get the right backers, for sure Brazil. But Brazil is really go big or go home. So we take Brazil really seriously. You know, is for doing something in Brazil is for us. Brazil is like thinking of the U.S. of Latin America. So is whatever you're gonna do in Brazil it's big, go big or go home. You know.
Yeah. It's a very huge country and
the competition is probably, I think, honestly, is the most mature and the most advanced players in Latin America as far as honestly is I'm Argentinian Canadian, and honestly is for what I say in prop tech, Brazil is much more advanced than whatever would think of Canada, for example. So
really,
Brazil is, I would say is that the US is number one and number two and number three is, I would put the Brazilian prop techs at the similar level of Southern Europe prop techs, honestly. I wouldn't say the UK, but I would say Southern Europe for sure.
That's very nice to hear. And well, can you tell us about a successful case with a client of yours?
Well, all the success cases that we can think right now is Síguenos solution is receiving right now offers and doing transactions in the middle of COVID. We did close to 10 transactions in all this COVID-19, which are not a lot, but we are still working. I think for us, the huge success is because the whole thing right now with the market is tanked. There is, I hear brokers in Argentina and Chile and our brokers in countries like Mexico is we can do anything. And for us is working 24/7. So I would say that there is a market and people need liquidity. We get to the new normal because the life that we knew before, it's gone. Is we're gonna all cry, but it's gone. So the new normal, a lot of people are gonna need a lot of cash. So right now cash is king. So for a lot of people that invested in a different world before all this, they're gonna need cash. So the thing is for us is ramping up as fast as we can, new products, new projects, and helping people to become more liquid. So it's for us is getting to know like platforms like yours, our story, and hopefully adding up new developers pretty fast and hopefully to a lot of consumers that are in pain, bringing to them offers.
Sure. And what are you looking for at this moment? So investment, expansion, consolidation, growth?
All of them. For now, is what we did is we did our MVP super fast. So right now is we're gonna launch in Chile. In Chile, Lugaren is participating in a Chilean program called Startup Chile. We are from this year's class of Startup Chile, so it's a fact we're launching in Chile. So our focus right now is launching in Chile, but definitely is we have so much inquiries from the rest of Latin America. So I would say is securing our seed run and deciding where to go next. But definitely right now is ramping up and growing.
Excellent. And well, now I'd like to understand a bit more about your opinion about the real estate industry. And well, it's seen as a more conservative in relation to other sectors. Does this also occur, in your opinion, in Argentina, in Chile, and maybe other countries in Latin America, even in Canada, that you have more experience?
Well, the first thing you gotta think is now it's changing. But usually, if you go to a GR event, which for me are fantastic venues, and when you go to a GR event, what you see is usually the people that go there is over 50 or 60 years old. So usually still the real estate industry, the mavericks, people who really are successful, it's really difficult to change when you have so much success. So that's the first, I think, tipping point of all the thing is you have amazing players in Brazil, Mexico, Chile, all the region that really created an industry. And I call them mavericks because that's what they are. And we should really be proud, and usually I would think our society should admire them much more because those guys change our cities, our countries, and they did magnificent jobs. But the thing is they still think because that's where they had success as a brick and mortar industry. I think right now I think COVID-19 is the awakening call of them to say we gotta change. But the thing is for them is they were too busy doing what they do. Is I remember having talks and having coffees and lunch with super successful players from Peru, Mexico, and Chile at a GR event in Santiago last September, and they were saying, Pablo, where I'm going to focus in technology if we are super successful in what we are doing. And now I think if I call them now, I think the call is going to be different. But I think they need an an awakening call, and I think now it's the perfect timing for them. And because the thing for them is the investors are going to change, and right now, before they didn't care so much about liquidity because liquidity grew on trees. So I said, Pablo, I have too much liquidity. My problem is to do what do I do with my money? Now the problem got reversed, and now I think it's a time to think with technology. So I think the timing is perfect. So I think probably for a lot of real estate developers, the timing wasn't right. I think the timing right now is right. And
so, sorry, go ahead.
And also is you have you have the real estate brokers. When you talk about real estate brokers in Brazil or the rest of the region, you have two worlds: the commercial real estate brokers, which are called like the investment bankers of real estate, and then you have the residential real estate brokers. And the residential real estate brokers it's right now with players like Lugaren, Casa, Lofty, and other players. It's becoming more digital. So I think it's right now, it's that the industry is changing like 20 years ago, change the tourism industry with players like Decolar or Expedia in the US, or Decolar in Brazil, or Despegar in Argentina. So I think that reckoning it's arriving right now. Is probably Brazil saw it much more earlier because you have like 5 years ago players like Quinto Andar. But the region didn't have players like Quinto Andar. So I think that reckoning in the residential real estate, it's also happening right now. So I think right now we are facing a perfect storm where the industry it's gonna be a brand new industry. And something I'm totally convinced that that's what's going on right now.
Excellent. So that's an opportunity that comes to the real estate industry. And so in this sense, what do you think is the role of startups and new technologies on this shift of mentality of the real estate industry? Senior guys, mostly, if I could say.
Well, for the senior guys, is what maybe before was like a luxury, or maybe, I don't know, some real estate developers thought like pro bono working with prop techs and fintechs in real estate. Now I think it's crucial. I think it's the time to think again, to get real good data, share information, and work together. Is because I think that a lot of prop techs, including us, we have so much to give for them and to rethink things and help their teams to become much more efficient and the products to become much more liquid. So that's before. I think that before there was a luxury industry, and it's like two worlds that they didn't. It's very crazy, but the residential real estate world didn't speak with the development real estate world and the investment world. And when you see right now, it's a whole system. Doesn't make any sense. So that disconnection, that lack of systems, is created that right now it's difficult the way things are conceived to make really fast decisions. And this is a world where all of us, we don't have the luxury of taking decisions that are going to take results in 2-3 years, because we don't have that luxury anymore.
Yeah, and well, continuing on this theme, on this subject, what do you think will happen to the real estate industry after COVID-19?
Wow. I'm thinking a positive question.
Yes, it's $1 million question, I know, but
I think you should get me a lawyer for answering that question. No, well, or at least a really good whiskey, for answering that question. The thing is, I think honestly, and it's going to be harsh, but it is the truth. It's gonna be who survived and who doesn't survive. I'm gonna have the early survivors and the ones who survive in the next 5 years. So I think you're gonna have the industry as we know. It's gonna be a new industry, and the players that we thought were significant until now are gonna be other industries. And to give a parallelism or analogy of this is really interesting. I love the car industry. I'm a car aficionado and I love cars. And it's funny that when you talk about brands like Volkswagen, or you talk about brands like Chevrolet or Ford or whatever, they're called the legacy automakers. So right now, I think you're going to have to think about the legacy real estate players and the new real estate players. And that's what going to become on those worlds. And so the legacy players, some of them are going to survive. Perhaps some of them are going to thrive. I'm going to do kind of electric cars for real estate, hopefully. And some of them, they're going to do, I don't know what's going to happen with them. They're going to do other stuff, or they're going to change professions. I don't know. But that's, I think the best sample I can give right now is it's the car industry. Are you going to do electric cars, which for us is prop tech plus fintech, or you got to be really good doing legacy cars like Bugatti or something like that, premium, or you're going to be out of business.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
At least that's my thought.
Excellent. And Lucas asked us here as a question on the comments here. As a real estate company, what advantages Lugaren provides to the owners who wants to sell their properties? Why should they choose Lugaren instead of other marketplaces or Zona Prop, for example?
It's comparing. I really like Zona Prop. We work with them real online. It's comparing. I wish I could be like Zona Prop because they're really good. It's like SAP in Brazil. They're amazing. What they do, and it's a huge company. We're a tiny startup, so being compared to them for us is such a privilege, even though it's not true because it's unfair for them. But they're in the classified market. They are the portal, and they have real estate developers and brokers. And our goal and our reason to survive and to live and to prosper and to thrive is to give liquidity, to give offers. So the reason we are here is, if you want to sell a property, get an offer right away with Lugaren, and so we work online and we work all day long with guys like Zona Prop, but we are in different worlds. For them, it's a classified, and for us, it's the transaction right now focused on new developments.
Perfect. It's kind of, if I may say another analogy, it's a kind of as a part of the iBuyer business. So that's just like Loft in Brazil that buys and
for new development. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. That's very clear. Excellent. Well, I have one more question here for you, and about the relation between small and mid-sized companies with big corps. What type of partnerships or collaborations do you think that are most sustainable for both group of companies, big and small, the high-tech companies?
Well, I think there's a fantastic and tremendous opportunity of again, as when you think about the real estate developers, the big boys, the ones who define our market. It's a big way to say to them, hey, we are here to help them. As honestly as want to get them better data, more liquidity, and be more attractive to them with investors. Is when a market which right now I'm very familiar, which is Chile, is in Chile, the inmobiliarias, which are the REITs, real estate investment trust funds, usually the banks own between 5 and 10% of all the new developments in Santiago, which is Chile. So the thing is if we can help the banks, the financial institutions, and we can help the inmobiliarias, we can help almost anyone in the market. So that's the thing is a lot of startups, including us, what we can do is start thinking again, all the process to be accountable, because when we have conversations in Chile with inmobiliarias or with big developers in Argentina, and I ask questions about, can you give me this data? And they say, Pablo, they start whispering, Pablo, we don't have that data. Can you help us getting that data, because we don't have that data? So right now this world is a huge opportunity to know, I wouldn't say to start from scratch, but almost from there. So it's a new world, and platforms like Smartus are doing a terrific job of helping and saying, hey guys, these are the prop tech guys, the new guys, and you can do so many things together, and that's where it's getting super interesting. And when you see markets like the US or the UK, and where's the future is going is a few weeks ago, Blackstone, which is one of the largest investment funds in the world, created like an almost $1 trillion fund for distressed assets. So I want to see when start getting the new technology backed investment funds for real estate. You know, I think there's terrific opportunity of doing institutional investment, like investment banking for real estate and development, but using technology. That's where I see a lot of coming, and definitely from Brazil is gonna definitely lead the way as well.
Very nice point. And what's the size of Lugaren? How many people you have today?
We are right now, because we are MVP, we have a lot of iteration. We are less than 10 people, but hopefully that's gonna be for a really short time, because we are starting to hire like crazy. So that definitely it's gonna change dramatically, hopefully in the next few months. Because for us was our make it or break it. So now we are convinced we can make it. It's like almost starting from zero. That's the beauty of a startup. When we talk about a real estate developer, it's really difficult to reborn and start from scratch again. And from the startup is the market change, we understand the pain of the consumer. So now we are scaling back, and then for scaling fast, super again, and that's what we are doing. So we study the market really well. We understand where was the weakness of the market, where we can bring tremendous value, and now is building.
Excellent. Well, Pablo, I'm run out of questions, and I'd like to thank you for your time and the opportunity to listen your thoughts and get to know more about your company. So it was really a huge pleasure to have you here.
I'm the grateful one, and thank you again. What you're doing is really amazing. Congratulations to all the Smartus team. You're doing a terrific job, and please keep going with this. The real estate world really needs this.
Thank you. We are working hard, especially on COVID times.
I know. You're setting the pace, and honestly, if the industry gets transformed, you're gonna have your part on that, because you're really changing the industry.
That's really nice to hear. Thank you very much, Pablo. See you soon.
Take care. Have a nice day.
Muito obrigado. Tchau, tchau.
Thank you. Bye.